Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. But ladies and gentlemen, before we begin today's episode, I'd like to take a few moments of a very special day for both me and my twin brother, Rudolph Brewington, because on this date, our mother, Mrs. Mosetta Smalls, was born 105 years ago. There she is on the picture there. She's wearing a red dress. The other lady with her, that's my daughter down in Texas. So we say happy, happy, heavenly birthday to our mother. A day doesn't go by that the both of us don't reflect on the memory of the woman who bore and raised us. And for that, we most sincerely thank her very, very much. You know, living in Harlem with no father in the projects was rough. That lady got us through it. We always, as they say, intruders say, I'll always love my mama. She brought me in this world. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we want to dedicate today's episode for Mrs. Mosetta Smalls. Marvelous mother. Roll it, Tony.
When I got the call to do the Right Club, I was like, oh wait, I didn't get a call, I got a email. No, I didn't get an email, I got a text message. No, I didn't get a text message, I got a Facebook announcement asking me to do the Right Club. And I was just so overjoyed by the beautiful way they asked me to do it. It must have been too hard to find a Post-it note. But I had to think about this. December? Really? All sorts of crazy schedule with my kids, school, shopping, birthdays. Was I even going to be able to write a brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest today is a director, an actor, has numerous Broadway and regional credits. He also has LA directing credits like The Boy from Oz, which got him an Ovation Award, LADCC Award and Best Director, The View Upstairs, which got him a Broadway World Award, and Best Director, and Laughter on the 23rd Floor. This guy's got a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's got him Director of the Year, Scenic Award, Broadway World Nomination, and Best Director. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael A. Shepperd. Greetings, Michael.
Good morning. How are you today?
Welcome to The Actor's Choice. What a bio. You got a bio and a half, brother. Please tell us where you were born at.
I'm just so happy that I get to work. That's the big thing. It's just about the work and about honoring, this craft that we call, theater, this business profession. I just love doing it.
You were born in Alton, Illinois. Is that correct, sir?
Alton, Illinois.
Alton. Excuse me.
Alton is actually a really historic town. One of the Lincoln Douglas debates, the picture you just showed, one of the Lincoln Douglas debates was held there. It was a major stop on the Underground Railroad. It is the home of Robert Wadlow, the world's tallest man, Phyllis Schlafly, the world's most hated woman, and Miles Davis was also born there.
So you were born November 22nd, huh?
Scorpio
here too. November 2. How do you do?
Ain't nothing like a Scorpio.
Ain't nothing like Scorpio.
Yeah, we do not forget.
Indeed. One of the things that we want to ask you, remember the first time you stepped out on stage? Remember that time?
Absolutely. I was in the second grade, and I was, my grade school was doing Cinderella, and I was cast to be the person. Well, I was the horse. I was the horse that pulled Cinderella's carriage because I was the biggest person in the entire second grade. And so this decorated wheelbarrow, I come out acting like a horse. I grab the wheelbarrow and I take the wheelbarrow around with both of them in it, around the little cafetorium, and stop, and everyone applauded. And I knew that everyone's applause was just for me as the horse that pulled Cinderella's carriage. And I remember that feeling going, this is all I ever want. This is what I want right here in second grade.
Well, they say the smell, the smell and the taste of the audience in the air, definitely should be present for another artist. Indeed, indeed.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we ask is, as you get into some of these different things, what you were in the Celebration Theater.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I was the artistic director there for 15 years, almost 15 years. It is one of the largest LGBTQIA plus theaters in the country. It specializes in celebrating artists who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Got you. Okay. You've been in this business a long time. What do you think about these young upstart people who are calling themselves actors these days?
You know, I'm going to be completely honest with you. As long as these new young upstart actors want to actually put the work in, I am cool and grateful. And as a elder, I am more than happy to give them the knowledge that I have received from other elders throughout the years. It's the actors, and I'm gonna put that one in quotes, those actors that who just go, I want to be famous. I want to, put no work in. I want to have a YouTube channel or the best, 50,000 followers on TikTok. And that says that I'm an actor. And that bothers me a lot. The other thing that bothers me is that this business has become a little bit of, how do I put it? Popularity contest. Mm-hmm. Because, this person has 197,000 followers on Instagram. Let's give them an audition. Because they want to bring those other followers into the thing. So I think a lot of actors lose out to actors who just have a following.
Got you. So given what you just said, what advice would you give to a young upstart who wants to make it in this business?
The advice that I would give is to read. Read books, read scripts, read plays, read philosophy books, read biographies, read, because you have no idea the knowledge you can get from a book. We so just want to have that 40-second clip or that 60-second clip that, gives you this little piece, but you have to dig deeper than that. You have to dig deeper. And the only way you're going to do that is to listen fully and to read, and just get down into those words and let that really fill you up and, help you out.
Thank you. Those words of wisdom, I hope people pay attention. You were on Broadway several times.
Yes.
What's it like being on Broadway? What was his name? George Benson on Broadway?
Yes. Can I tell you this? It's very funny. It's a great honor.
Yes.
It is a great honor. And and if you get to step on the boards on Broadway, it is a beautiful thing and it fills you up and you can become very emotional. But once you do it, once you get over that initial emotion, you realize, I'm just in a theater doing a show. It is that. It's like you're with people who love what they're doing and are out there just, making it happen 8 shows a week. And you go, it's a higher tier, of course, but it's the same as you're doing the same work. You're doing the exact same work that you should be doing in any other theater you're performing in, whether it's a 1,900-seat theater, on 46th, or a 99-seat theater here in Hollywood on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Wow. There's something about New York City. Being a resident there, I can remember, as you know well, at 2 o'clock in the morning, looked like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, I missed that. I'm not a lot because, or you're walking, or the fact that you're just walking, doing an errand, and you run into 4 people that you may or may not have seen in the last 5 or 6 years, but you run because you're walking. You're walking there, and you always run into people and I love that feeling because we don't walk here.
No.
We walk in LA.
No.
Literally, I have a major grocery store a block and a half from my house, and I will get in my car and drive every single time. It's pathetic, but I have to do it.
These people drive like fools out here. I mean, they run red lights, they run stop signs, they don't care.
See, and my biggest pet peeve in LA, especially when driving, is people who don't use their directional.
Thank you.
People who just let me know. You let me know.
Right. I didn't get it by osmosis. I didn't know you're turning left. Tell me. Let me know.
All you got is so easy. Click, letting a brother know that you're about to go left or you're about to go right. That's all you got to do. That is, I hate it. And I always know that if a cop were to pull me over telling me you didn't use your signal, I'll be like, okay, we're going to court. Because everyone knows that's my biggest pet peeve. And I know you just lied on me because I use my signal every time.
Amen. 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 Black theater, what does it mean to you?
Black theater, and what does it mean to me? Funny you should mention that right now because the National Black Theater Festival just happened down in North Carolina. And I had numerous friends who were there and they were posting pictures on Facebook and Instagram, all over social media. And it was, first it saddened me because I wasn't there. I wasn't there because there is a love and camaraderie when you're in a room full of Black actors and actors. There's a different emotion. There's a different feeling. I can't explain what that is, but anyone who has ever been in Black and been in a room for of 20 to 30 other Black actors, you know that spirit, that energy, that feeling comes to life. And it just clicks and enters your person. And when you leave after that gathering, you're uplifted more. You're able to go through your day. You're able to push forward more. And that is what I believe Black theater does. And I also know that can actually inspire, Black theater inspires people who are, European Americans who want a sort of a entry point into the Black experience, not being able to, there's no way they can live the Black experience, but they can witness and have an entry point into it. And I think that is definitely there. And that is why we need Black theater, because it's through theater that we begin to understand each other. We begin to understand what our commonalities are and what also the differences and the problems within our differences happen.
As we say in the business, say it loud. Say it loud. Thank you.
Because the people in the back can't hear you.
Gotta say that right. Michael, you currently have, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman has 56 IMDb TV film credits right now. Not bad, as they say in the business. Not bad. But a recent guest told me that doing stage work gives you training skill while character roles pays your bills.
Hello.
What do you say?
Yes. Look, here's the deal. It's like I do a guest star on a show.
Okay.
That pays my mortgage for 2 months, 3 months. I don't have to worry about my mortgage for 3 months off of that 3 days, 4 days of work. I don't have to worry about it. When I go do a show, my mortgage is not paid in 3 days, but I make enough to pay the mortgage over that time span, depending on the contract you're on for theater, Some theaters pay $25 a show. Some theaters pay, $800-900 a week, depending on, what contract you're under. But there's no money like TV and film money. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
And we do that. And it's great because we can do that, those 3 or 4 guest stars a year, if you book them, of course, and then go, you know what? I can go ahead and do this show that I love and need to be a part of because it's going to fill my spirit. I can do that show for that, $30 a show. I can do that then because there's nothing like theater. There's nothing like being there live in front of an audience and, having that ear where when they're laughing and you can hear it just press and you go back in with the other laugh. And there's nothing. I wouldn't trade it for the world unless course, I got, a series regular, then, it'll be a minute before I do theater.
Got you. The year is 1987. You got your first IMDb TV actor credit for a TV series called The Magic Door.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Take you back in time.
Oh my gosh. I was not new to Chicago, but fairly new after graduating from Illinois Wesleyan. And I went into a room and auditioned for this show. I don't even know, someone told me, you should go in, because this is like that time when you heard of auditions from word of mouth.
Right. WOM.
And just go in, crash the audition, crash it. So I went in and I crashed that audition. And it was a syndicated children's show that explored fairy tales and fables through a Jewish lens. And I had the best time of that show. And there was a lot of us a lot of famous people who were on that show with me at the time. God, the voice of Homer Simpson, what is his name? Dan Castellaneta was on there. I can't remember. There was like 4 or 5 other people that were on that show. We just had a blast, and I got to play everything from a butterfly to a woman to a rabbi.
Yes,
it was so for a children's TV show during that time. It was wildly diverse. And it was so great. And they had no problems in putting me, this 6'6" Black man, in the role of a rabbi in the storytelling. That's what they did. And there was no question about it. That's what happened.
Right.
And that was just an amazing experience. And the woman who started that, her name was Timmy Gilbert. And she has passed away several years ago. But that was her goal. That was what she wanted to do.
Michael, you came here for a reason today. A new play you're just opening up at ICT, the International City Theater. They call it Ballet Song.
Yes, Ballet Song.
Tell us about it, please, sir.
Oh, look, there's a picture now.
Yes.
Yes, we opened the 24th of this month at ICT Theater in Long Beach. I have to tell you, first of all, Ato Fugard is an amazing South African writer. Just beautiful. His writing is just beautiful, and the lyricism of the words that he creates is just wonderful. This play is about a grandfather and his granddaughter, and how one is had lived through the apartheid, and the other one is just are living through after the apartheid, and sort of where those worlds go. There's also a third character called the author, which is Ato Fugard himself, and he sort of narrates the whole piece and his interactions with these people that he actually met in South Africa, which inspired him to write this story. But it's beautiful. It is by no stretch of the imagination the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
Because I am a grandfather who has a very distinct South African accent, and the author who has an Afrikaans accent because the author is white. And I'm portraying both roles to the point where I actually have a scene with myself playing both of those characters for 7 pages.
Now, I saw you with a young lady. Who is she working with you?
Oh, that's Belle Guillory, a young actress. Okay, we were talking earlier about what advice I would give to young actors. I would pass that question on to Belle to give that advice, because whatever Belle is doing, she is doing it right, and she is doing it amazingly. And I would have Belle tell those young actors what she is doing, so that they know that they can become the same type of skilled and gifted actor that she is.
Is she in a relationship to Ben Guillory?
No.
Huh.
That was my first question. Very first question. But no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Odd name, small. You don't see that often.
Yeah, I know these two. These two power, black forces with the same last name yet not related.
Got you,
Yeah.
Michael. We got a couple of pictures. Can you show the first one, Tony? There you are.
There we are. I know what people are thinking. He is far too young to play a grandfather. I know that's what you're all thinking.
And what's wrong with being a grandfather? You live long enough, you'll be a grandfather.
well, I had children late. My first child wasn't born until I was 39. Okay. So, and then 43. So my children came late. But yeah, that's Belle and myself from the show.
Got you. Here's another. Yeah. Okay. Now you told us the synopsis of it, but what's the bottom line on this play?
The bottom line, I think I'm still
in the theater.
I'm still trying to figure out what the exact bottom line is. Because me as the actor, it is about trying to show what that time was like.
Yes.
In the grandfather character, seeing that he is struggling to go through what happens after apartheid, and so what the white character, the author, is going through with his guilt about what happened during apartheid. So it's this living in this little duality and playing these two characters. I think the bottom line is that people should buy tickets and come to the theater because theater is back, and that this type of theater that will spark conversation.
Okay. Now you guys, you're going through reading right now. You open up August the 24th and the 25th for previews?
Yes. No, I think those are our opening dates. I'm pretty sure. I think our previews are the 22nd and 23rd, and we open the 23rd and 24th. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I am trying to remember these lines.
Let's see. It's going to be on at. Let's see. If I have August 26th to September 11th as performances.
Yes. So this is the 23rd and 24th and 25th. Maybe are the previews or now something like that. Yeah.
Again, you got the protocol, COVID-19 protocol.
Oh, we get tested 3 times a week. We have to do a report every day to send in that we're in that room, and we have our temperature checked from the moment we walk in. Everyone's wearing masks. The only time we don't wear masks is when the two characters are on stage.
Right. Well, sounds interesting. Now this is at the International City Theater, 330 East Seaside Way in Long Beach.
Yes.
Yes. Great little theater. You should know. You were there recently. When you did your
Fences.
Yes.
I was in Fences there as Troy, and I was also in Raisin.
Yes.
There.
So you like that place?
Yeah, and that was our director Karen Desai was during Raisin, and I played Walter Lee in the musical Raisin, and it was a crazy story because a week and a half before we opened, Nell Carter was playing Mama in Raisin, and passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, passed away a week. I think it was 8 days before we were to open. And the brilliant Carol Dennis, we were stunned, of course, but the brilliant Carol Dennis stepped in and learned everything in less than a week and opened that show brilliantly.
Beautiful. So after, you're going to be doing this run. What's next after this place? After
this, it is my 25th wedding anniversary, and we are going to Portugal for 10 days. I am not doing anything after this. I'm going to go to Portugal and enjoy some time away.
Interesting. Looks like you got your bags all packed.
Oh, basically bags are packed and I'm ready to go. There's a couple shows that I will be directing next season.
Yeah.
I can't really name them because the contracts haven't been signed, and I'm a firm believer until that contract is signed with all the I's and T's done, I don't talk about it until it's there. But yeah, I have a few very exciting projects for next season.
All right. Well, Michael, we want to thank you very, very much for being with us today. Please come back again, sir.
Whenever
Lucy Pollock, God bless her.
Yeah, great publicist.
And continued success, sir, with your marvelous career.
And thank you so much for just honoring me to be on this show. Because, you know, it's the 313th show, and it shows that your commitment to theater and to the arts is just amazing. And I just want to say thank you for like bringing that world to people who may not actually have any other into it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael A. Shepperd. Well, this is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Now, we'd like to let you know that we're asking the Actors Choice squad that we have to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt passed away January 20th, 1997. He was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. So all you got to do is contact our office, TAC office, at 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great, great baseball player. Okay? Brother Tony.
Sorry, can you see me okay there?
Yes, I see you fine.
What did you do?
My camera.
I asked Oscar to keep you safe in jail.
The correct way.
The deal was I'd pay it off by cleaning money for them.
But
I skimmed a little off the top.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today comes to us here in America, deeply rooted in his experience as a Punjabi immigrant. Now, he's a self-taught artist whose success with 2 films have earned him favorable comparison to the works of his longtime idols, Martin Scorsese, or some people call him Scorsese, and Quentin Tarantino. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome director, writer, actor, Bari Kang. Greetings, Bari, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and it's my honor to be here.
It's a pleasure having you, my friend. You got quite a story to tell.
Yes. Where do you want to start?
Where were you born at? Let's start.
I was born in northern India in a province state called Punjab. It's basically 1/3 of India up top, and not many people know the difference between Punjabis and Indians. There's a lot of political history there. It's a part of India that's always been fighting to be its own country. So I grew up during the height of that. I was born in the 80s, and that's when things had gotten pretty rough there in that region. And my parents had to flee India and our home to come to America. So we came here seeking asylum as illegal refugees back in the 80s.
I can dig it. Now, you said you moved into Queens. Is that what you said? You started living in?
Yeah, well, when we first landed here, it was, we were kind of dropped off in California. We came through Mexico. And after basically doing the thing that you do once you cross over illegally, we eventually made our way over to Brooklyn, and then we settled in Queens just because there's a big Punjabi community in Queens.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we ended up settling down. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that there's boroughs. There's 5 boroughs that make up the city of New York City. Yes. Definitely.
And Queens is the what do you call it? The melting pot.
Yes.
Of New York. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, it's interesting. By the way, what high school did you go through since you were there in Queens?
I was lucky, I went to Townsend Harris High School. I was lucky in the sense that we were in a pretty rough neighborhood growing up. We were in Ozone Park, and this is in the 90s at this point. And the schools were overflowing. They had no space. So at first I didn't go to school for quite some time. And then eventually they said, okay, you can go to a different school district. So I was able to go to school in Howard Beach. Now that was a step up. From the schools where we were. So I was lucky in that sense that the neighborhood didn't totally engulf me, because I would spend my days in a white neighborhood, in an Italian neighborhood,
Gotcha.
and going to school with all these Italians and white people, and then I would make my way back to Richmond Hill, South Ozone Park, and so I got lucky in that sense, and I was able to kind of make my way into Townsend Harris High School, and that was also good for me because our local high school was pretty rough. I think my life trajectory would have been very different if I had been sucked in by that school district.
Got you. The reason I asked that was because I went to high school in Queens, a school called Aviation High School.
Absolutely, very familiar.
Oh, yeah. Airplanes, they trained you to be an aircraft mechanic.
Yes.
Wow. Nothing I learned in that school do I remember. Don't remember anything, but it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Okay, Barry, here's the question of the day. Now, we gave this on the in run, but what is it about Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino that you admire?
So when I was growing up here in Queens, I was left to my own devices. My parents were gone way before I woke up for school. I had a little brother that I was supposedly to take care of, and they came home way after we went to bed. So during the days, I would kind of make my way over to a local video store.
Yes.
And, this is in the 90s, and, everyone was pretty chill back then. And I was able to just get whatever I want. Basically, film was escape for me. And early on, I got into the works of Scorsese, De Palma, Tarantino, really these movies about these characters living on the fringes, outsiders, not fitting in. And for some, I don't know if it was that found me, or I was just drawn to it and I related to it. And I love those films. I loved watching them. I was too young to be watching them, but I did. And I just kept getting in and watching everything I can get my hands on. And before you know it, it was just kind of, I think it formed my character in a way, and it informs my work now, because that's what I'm into, the crime dramas, thrillers. And so I think that really kind of shaped what I do now.
Excellent. Okay. My IMDb tells me that you got your first actor credit in a film drama called Welcome to Punjab.
Yes. Yeah, that was in India. I was visiting India and I got involved with this film there. It's a long story. The movie was never released. Yeah, a lot of craziness goes on in that part of the world. And I wasn't meant to act in that film. And they needed an actor. It was written as you won't even believe this. It was written as a white character. He was like the comic relief. Yeah. He was the character that the nice Indian girl runs off with, right? And they couldn't find an actor for this. They're like, hey, why don't you do it? I said, well, I'm not white. And they said, yeah, but you're in India. You look close enough. They told me. So I said, let's do one thing. Let's kind of rewrite this character, and let's make him Spanish. That's a little more believable. I mean, I'm Indian, but they needed a foreigner. So I said, I can pull off Spanish. Why not? And so we did that. And that was my first experience, was acting on this massive film set in front of 200 people. It was a crew of literally 200 people plus. And that was my first chance ever getting up in front of a camera. And I sucked. It was very bad.
Got you.
But it's something I wanted to do deep down, and I just never verbalized it. But after that, I started asking all these questions. Yes. I started talking to the director. I said, hey, I think I like what I just did. And I told him, I know it was bad, but what do you think? And he's like, no, you can do it. He was like, you can do it. He's like, you just got to work at it. But he's like, he said, you went up there, you did it, words came out of your mouth. Right. And the potential is there. And this director, he's kind of well known over there. So he kind of lit a fire in me by giving me those encouraging words. And the next thing you know, I'm working on my craft. I'm trying to find the best teachers, getting my technique down. And that's really what got the acting bug going.
Okay. Here's the drama. Now, by the way, folks, he did pick up some credit for a film and also as a producer. He did get those credits on this one.
Yeah.
So now you left India and you came here to Hollywood, right?
Yes, yes.
What was it like when you got to Hollywood?
So I never got to Hollywood. So we were in India just for a year and a half after my MBA here. So I'm a very much a New Yorker. I grew up here. I was born in India, but once I knew I wanted to act, I didn't want to act there. I didn't think that was where I wanted to be. I wanted to be back here, and I wanted to act here, in my home, and because I could see that I didn't really fit in that crowd over there. So once I got here, I landed up in New York, just like everybody else on the audition circuit. Hollywood, I knew Hollywood existed, but I also knew, I didn't want to be one of the, I don't know how many people go there every year seeking that dream. And I didn't want to take that leap because I knew I had a lot to work on. I wanted to develop my legs before I made a leap like that. So I kind of went around the circuit here. I continued to work on my craft. And I got on the audition treadmill, one audition after another. And honestly, most of these auditions, I wasn't even excited for the audition. I said, this is acting. I said, this is not what I want to do. No disrespect to it. It's just, I envisioned myself doing certain things and being called in for punk number 5 or terrorist number 13. Or you understand the stereotypical cliche things, not getting a chance to kind of show what I'm capable of in terms of the characters that I thought I could play. And that really frustrated me for some time. But then I realized there's another way to get, to do this, which is I don't have to be at the mercy of the machine. I can, I have my business understanding, I have that background. And a casting director told me, why don't you write? Why don't you do that? Write some stuff for yourself. And I said, well, I'm not a writer. And she said, well, you're not an actor right now either, right? And she believed in me. She was a pretty big casting director. She's like, you can do this. You just need, you got to work on stuff. And so I started to write. And I wrote myself a feature film that I would star in. And the next thing you know, I'm making this movie called Lucky in 2014. We started filming it. And honestly, I did it just because I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this, because, I needed to know, okay, if I have these visions and these dreams in my mind, can I actually do it if it comes to pass? So that was the main driver behind Lucky. I just wanted to see if I could pull it off. And I did.
You did.
And the movie was, it was watchable. We made it for practically no money.
Right.
It was super low budget. We just, paid enough to just get cameras and food and whatnot. So not only was it watchable, it got into Urban World Film Festival. It won the Audience Award at Urban World Film Festival. And next thing you know, I'm being handed an award by Ava DuVernay. And I said, this is crazy. There are this is the path for me. So I said, this is what I'm not going to pigeonhole myself just as an actor.
Yes.
Because for me, that path didn't go as I wanted it to. And look, there's many ways to skin a cat. Right. That works for a lot of people. It just wasn't working for me. And I got to the game late. I got into acting in my late 20s, and I'm not getting any younger. So I said, exactly. I said, if others have done this, I can do it. So I looked for other people who had done this successfully, and I said, hey, if they can do it, I can learn from them, and I can do it too. So a little bit of naivete works in the beginning, just keeping that confidence up, and I never looked back. So after that, now that I knew a little bit, I knew nothing. When I went into making Lucky, I knew about acting. That's all. That's in my mind. That's all I was a MBA turned actor. Trying to be an actor. But I knew nothing about filmmaking.
Right.
I knew nothing about writing. But I know how to read, and I know how to look up on YouTube. And I literally just deconstructed everything I could. I tried my best. I surrounded myself with the best people I could, and that it worked. So that was good. And after Lucky, I said, now I know a little bit. Now I got to make another movie, now that I have a little bit of knowledge. And that led to my latest feature, the Scrapper. And I'm very, the Scrapper, definitely. And so I'm very proud of that film. It's pretty close to me. So, that's been my journey.
Okay. You mentioned Scrapper. We just happen to have a small clip.
Oh, fantastic.
Locksmith wants $200 to open it.
I'll take the safe. Gonna sell the metal anyway. Thousands of Punjabis cross the US-Mexico border every year, and it's all controlled by the cartels. In exchange, the Punjabi bosses let them use their trucks to smuggle drugs all across the country.
It's a shame.
Are you working again today?
All right, the Scrapper. There you are. How do you define yourself? Now you're becoming a filmmaker. How do you define your style as a filmmaker?
My style as a filmmaker.
Yes.
After this film, I realized I had a style, and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it on my own. I saw it from the comments and the reviews from critics, from reading reviews and from people talking to me about my work, I suppose. Not that I have this massive portfolio of work, but there were certain themes that passed on from the first film to the next one. And one is, it's very, very realistic. I'm not interested in, well, it's not that I'm not interested in, but I'm kind of drawn to the reality,
Got you.
Even though I come from the world of Bollywood, where everything is surreal. It's different now. But over there, it's all about escapism. Here, I like to delve into the darker places that exist, because there's nothing scarier than real life. So I love to examine the darker side of human nature. And also, this might be a little there's an underlying bleakness to my films.
Okay.
Almost as if these people, the characters, are trapped in the worlds that they happen to find themselves in. And I think that subconsciously came from my own experience growing up, where nothing was really in my control. One day I was in India, next day I'm picked up and I'm dropped off in New York, and then I'm growing up here. It always seemed as if I was, kind of like a watcher, like trapped in this world, this system, always trying to get out. And there's also that theme of this underlying struggle to do better, to change. And I think that's the major stuff that I explore. And then I'm really just drawn to genre filmmaking, but I want my films to also say something. It's not just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. I do believe that's the first priority of a film, is to entertain. But I don't think that doesn't mean that it can't say anything meaningful. So my first film, Lucky, even though it was a crime thriller, I talked about immigration and what people have to do sometimes to get ahead as illegals, and they make bad choices, or they're forced to make bad choices. And then The Scrapper was really about this character Jake, who's caught between these two cultures, this Mexican and this Punjabi heritage that he's born into, and how he can't escape his own family heritage, And so that's what I explore in The Scrapper. And
Okay. Question number 2. How does your family and friends think about what you do? How does that one?
Well, yeah, that's a tough question, because we all want our families to be proud of us. Correct? Yes. We all do. No matter, even if the relationships are not great. My relationships with my family are great, thank God. But we there's an underlying need for approval. And coming from a Asian home, my parents were very disappointed in the beginning that I didn't choose to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, or an engineer, and go down that path. Yeah. Look, and I understand why. Because for them, that's the dream, right? They came here, they want, a good life for their kids and this and that. And usually those safe paths, you have a comfortable life, but you don't know which way life is going to pull you. And so there was a lot of struggle in the beginning with my family. But once I got into it and the drive, and after Lucky, after I decided to make that damn movie, things kind of changed. They were like, "Oh, you can do this," because they went to the theater to watch it on the big screen in Times Square, and my dad was like, "You look good up there." I was like, "Thanks, that means a lot," So there's always that. They've been in my corner. Without them, I couldn't do this. Without the support of my family, I would be not be able to do what I'm doing, quite frankly, because it's hard. This is I have my own family now, so I have 2 little kids. Right. I have a wife, and they think it's cool. They're like, keep at it, and it's very important to have that support, because otherwise it's hard to be creative if there's a lot of battles going on up here. So but you know what? I will say, if you don't mind, I remember as an actor, when I told my acting friends what I was going to do, oh man, I got some feedback from them. They were like, "No, you can't do that. You're an actor. You can't just write your own thing. You can't just direct your own thing." And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, why not? I mean, if others have done it, why not? And why not me? But there was a lot of, because we get pigeonholed. We're told what we can and can't do. From the day we're born, we're told what we can and can't do, and it's hard to break out of that cycle. I remember that was a challenge, because they're your peers, and then you start feeling like an outsider even more, and then they don't want to talk to you. And I remember I had a lot of resistance, to the point where I had to honestly break off a lot of these ties, because I said, you know what, you guys go your way, I'm going my way. Let's see, we'll meet on the other side, one way or the other.
Right. Because you got a great attitude, and I've always believed that attitude determines your altitude.
Yes, sir. It does.
Indeed.
It does.
Indeed. One quick question. Tell us the experience that you feel when you walk down that red carpet in the film debut.
Yeah. Okay, so, it was surreal with my first film, Lucky, because I was very naive.
Okay.
I had no idea how the industry worked. I felt, I'll make a movie. It'll be good. And that's it. The agents are going to come. The managers are going to be knocking down on my door. Here's going to be the big A-list festivals. Next thing you know, there I am, in the Hall of Fame. And so in the beginning, it was very surreal, to taste a little bit of success. I was on cloud 9, super happy. But then as time passed on, I realized, now what? Nobody's knocking. Now I'm just kind of sitting around.
It takes a while.
Yeah. And, then reality sank in, because I realized there's so much competition.
Yes.
There's so much content that you really need to create a place for yourself instead of competing, because, and honestly, there's so little opportunity for colored people, ethnic people. We're all fighting for crumbs. And I said, I gotta figure out a different way, because I don't want to be fighting with my brothers here. It's, there's only so many roles for us, and we're told what to do. It's kind of silly. So I said, I gotta be on the other side. I gotta create. And that's really drove me, how I was saying, for that next film. And with this next one, I was much more grounded. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every time you do something, you hope that it's the one, it blows up, and you get a lot of success. And who doesn't, right? I would be lying if I didn't say that. But I was more realistic this time. I said, my job is to create a piece of work for the audience and something that they can appreciate. Now, whatever success is defined as by society and all that, let that be what it is. My job is to make a good film, and as an actor, be truthful. Right. And I accomplished that. The film, it's a good film. My character rang true with many people, so that's always great. And so but yeah, that red carpet is surreal, man. It's you'll forget everything else when you're walking on that red carpet. That's for sure. Getting off is the sad part.
That's right. Barry, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Come back in a couple of years and let's talk about where you were and where you're now. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because with that attitude you got, don't worry about them people. You'll do good on your own. And I want to thank your agent, Tom Esty, for bringing you on with us. We really, really appreciate it. Continued success in your future endeavors. That's all I can say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Ladies and gentlemen, Bari Kang. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin, Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much, much thanks to our guest today, actor, director Michael A. Shepperd, and director, writer, actor Bari Kang. And of course, special, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you again next time. Happy birthday, Mom.